Hello, I am Wanderer001 and this is my review of Fuel Rod, a portable battery charging system, I'm going to call it. If you've seen any of my other videos, you kind of know I have an affinity for portable charging devices. There should be a playlist over there, mainly because in today's world, we kind of live off of our portable devices, and if it runs out of power, that's a problem. So having some sort of battery, which in this case this product is Fuel Rod, with you helps you stay out in the field longer. Now I call this a portable battery system because, well, there's more than just a portable battery in here. Now this is a look at the complete package. If you order from Fuel Rod or use one of their kiosks, again, that's why it's a system. I'll explain that a little later. You get more than just a battery, so let me take you through all the things that you get, starting with this case. Now, this is a case so that you can keep all of the system pieces in one place. You don't have to use the case, but I did. I do have two of these, which I used for travel and, again, later discussion on. But the case itself is really nice. Everything fits solidly in there. It is thick plastic, but it does have a little give to it. There is an air hole at the top and the bottom so that when you close, and don't know if you can hear that because I'm using a wired mic, you can actually close it and open it because it's allowing the air to pass through. Now I'm going to pull out the fuel rod itself and start with that, and we're just gonna put the other components aside for a moment. The fuel rod itself is 3.5 inches in length, and if you're not sure what that looks like, here it is next to a particular lip balm. Or, if that's not to your liking, here it is next to a particular AA battery, just to give you an idea of the size itself. The width of it is actually just shy of an inch, and coming down to the bottom here, you will notice that it has a metal bottom which indicates 5 volt and 1 amp outputs. It is also a 2600 milliamp battery. Now, for most cell phones, that should be enough to fully charge it. I have a Moto X 2014 model, which has a 2300 milliamp battery. So this battery is actually larger than that. Now, the beauty of the fuel rod here is that it is part of a kit. Now, I'm going to put this aside and bring over some of those components from before. So for the price that you pay, you get the fuel rod as well as these components. So you have a lightning adapter that fits over micro USB. You have a 30-pin Apple adapter, again, that works off of the micro USB, because you get a micro USB cable here, which is 7.5 inches in length. That might sound like a lot, but it's really not. If you're looking for portability, this is really good, but if you're looking to have the battery in your pocket while utilizing the phone, I suggest getting something larger. So those are the extras that you get with the portable battery. Now, going back to this particular battery, why would you get this over something like, let's say, a RAV power battery here, which is just as long, a little wider, but has 6700 milliamps as opposed to the 2600 milliamp of the fuel rod? Well, part of that is that you can take this to a fuel rod kiosk and exchange it for a brand new one that is fully charged. Now, you can charge this fuel rod, if I can bring it into focus. You have your output, which is USB, and then your input, which is micro USB. Now, you will notice if I shake it or do anything or touch it, you have no indication of how much battery life is left in here, as opposed to something like I said with the RAV, which I come over and push a button, it shows me exactly how much life it has left. There's no way to know unless you plug it in. Now, if we depict over in the corner there, you can see that when it's needing charge or in charging, it has a red LED inside that lights up, and when it's fully charged, it lights up green. So you can charge this if you want to, but the beauty of it is that you take it to a fuel rod kiosk and exchange it for a brand new full fuel rod. Now, I did reach out to Fuel Rod and did kind of debate whether or not to tell them I was doing a review of it or not, to see if they would tell me different information, but I decided to go as a consumer and kind of played dumb, telling them I did not understand the concept behind this and the kiosks. If you can see the kiosk depicted here, it's not terribly large, so if you're in a high traffic area, how do they guarantee that these that come out are charged because, one, I did not buy this from the kiosk. You can buy it from a kiosk. I ordered it directly from Fuel Rod and they shipped it to my house. Both of them, when they got to my house, the fuel rods were dead. So I had to manually charge them before taking them to a place to exchange them, because where I was going had fuel rod exchange kiosks, but nowhere around me had these. So the representative that got back to me informed me that while there were not, well, they're very coy in how they told me. What they told me was if a fuel rod is exchanged and whatever fuel rod comes out will be a fully charged fuel rod. And that's all they told me. They didn't want to tell me the secret sauce, and I can kind of understand that. My assumption, based on the size of the kiosk, is that this metal backing here is a way that the kiosk itself can charge the batteries that are inputted into it. And then there's an internal mechanism that can tell how charged a rod is, and then make sure that a fully charged rod is ejected from the system. Now, utilizing the kiosk was really simple, and again, depicted here. You pretty much just do the touch screen, you put your fuel rod in with the barcode facing correctly, and it kicks out a new fuel rod. So for that alone, it makes it worth the price that you would pay for it, considering that you constantly can get a exchanged fuel rod for a full one, so you never have to worry about charging this. But like I said, you can charge it if necessary. Now, pricing's a little iffy. I don't want to say iffy. Pricing can be deceptive. If you get it directly from Fuel Rod, you can pick a system up for $20, which isn't bad considering you get a battery and then all of these adapters, which can cost you an arm and a leg if you get them separately. The deceptive part, I want to say, I got these before a trip to Disney World because I wanted to make sure I had battery all the time. I have several things like this, but I figured why not get extras? If you purchase these from a kiosk in Disney World, you're going to pay $30. So there's like a $10 premium for getting it there. So if you're considering this before going on a trip to Disney, get them directly from Fuel Rod first, charge it, and then you can exchange them at Disney for the same price it would have cost you to do it if you bought them there, which is nothing. That's all based on this barcode and how it gets read. Now, I've said a lot of things that I liked about Fuel Rod. There's one thing that I really didn't appreciate or like. Partially was that they did come directly from Fuel Rod, not charged. Now, I do understand this is a lithium-ion battery, so there are some shipping regulations. I just wish they would have notified me of that if that was the case. Charging it took 4.5 hours using a basic wall wart that comes with any cell phone. So just a little longer than it took to charge my Moto X, which generally I can charge regularly in 2 hours. Speaking of charging the Moto X, here's the other part. If you remember, I said my Moto X had a 2300 milliamp battery, while the Fuel Rod has a 2600 milliamp battery. So theoretically, the battery here should be able to fully charge my cell phone without a problem. Well, the 3 times that I did tests in varying different methods. Once when I fully charged the fuel rod, had the cell phone on. Once when I exchanged a fuel rod, had the cell phone on. And once when I had the cell phone off and it was a time that I charged the fuel rod could not fully charge my cell phone. I got it from varying points to 54% charge, to 59% charge, to a 66% charge. Now, the 66% charge was actually from a fuel rod that I got from the kiosk that it kicked out. Now, I'm not saying that that's bad, but just based on the numbers, this should be able to fully charge my phone. So don't think of this as I'm going to be able to fully charge my phone. Think of this as extending the life of your phone until you can get another fuel rod to fully charge it, or to get you through that emergency situation where your phone is dying and you absolutely need to have battery power. So that's what the fuel rod would be good for. Now, I was speaking about outputs before and charging. If we look right here, we can see that the output is 5.3 volts. As stated on the bottom, that would be correct. And here we can check the amperage as it relates to being plugged into my Moto X here. You will notice that it's bouncing a little bit, but it is just about up to the 1 amp. As stated on the bottom there, but not quite. Again, that's based on the phone and its output and how much charge it's trying to grab at the time. Again, it might sound like I'm bad-mouthing the fuel rod a little bit because it doesn't fully charge my phone, and It doesn't really have a mechanism by which you can check and see how much power is left in the fuel rod, but consider for the price, you get a battery and all these peripherals, it's a good call, especially if you're going to a place that has the kiosks. Like I said, around me, there are no kiosks. I mainly got this for a vacation trip. After which, I don't know what I will do with it because I really don't feel like charging this up manually. When again, I have better solutions right here, which allow me to tell how much battery is left and will charge my phone completely at least twice. But if you're considering fuel rod for a vacation, or you have somewhere around you that has the fuel rod kiosks that you're by all the time, mainly airports and travel hubs, it's a good buy. Again, if you purchase it directly from Fuel Rod's website. Again, I'm not sure how the kiosks in other locations work, but the Disney tax that they placed on the ones at Disney, not really a fan of that. So, I have been Wanderer001. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the area below. And like I said, for a $20 battery solution, Fuel Rod's really great if you're considering it for that means. So I would recommend it. And as always, thanks for watching.